Well, welcome to the commemoration of the 50th anniversary of the founding of National Raza Unida Party, which occurred over the Labor Day weekend in 1972 in El Paso, Texas. This historic conference will look at the legacy and the accomplishments of the Raza Unida Party, as well as look strategically into the future, what the future holds for, in our view, for Chicanos as a people in the United States and in the state of Texas. The historic conference will provide valuable information for the generations to come, and that is one of the messages that we hope to leave the audience with, is that the so-called veteranos like myself have spent half a century trying to empower the Chicano people in the United States and Texas. And the underlying theme of the conference is that, as we say it, pasando la antorcha, is passing the torch on to the new generations. We hope that it is our sincere hope as founders of the party that the younger generation will look at the history of what we did, how we did it, and why we did it, and that as they read about what the history of our Raza Unida Party, that they look at that information critically, and we hope that it will inspire them on to pick up the torch, to want to continue the struggle for change, for the empowerment of Mexican Americans in the state of Texas and in the United States. In our view, as much work as we did, and we invested half a century doing that work, we see it as an unfinished project that others have to complete. And that is the message that I want to give to the younger people, that we hope you get inspired to pick up that torch and continue the work that we started, that is yet to be finished, yet to be completed. And it is a noble goal to pursue, to empower people who have lived a lifetime of oppressed status. And said another way, when we started out as in the Mexican American Youth Organization, we went through an analytical process over several months in 1967. We analyzed the social conditions of Mexican Americans in the state of Texas, and we decided that what was there was not desirable at all. We needed to change that relationship, which we defined to be one of colonial status, that we did not have the power to do things for our own good, as we defined them then, that what was called in those days self-determination, where people get to decide what is best for themselves and how they want, if they want to change it, the situation, and how they want to change it. And we said that we had that right to do under the legitimate existing legal structures in the country and the state. The best example of our plan, how it materialized by organizing the best, as the historical books have recorded it, as in Crystal City, where the takeover was complete. We started with the school board, and then in back-to-back successive elections, we captured control of the city council, and within a span of 2 years, captured control of the county government. And from then on, Raza Unida was running the show, and that was the whole goal. We were making the decisions that were best for our community. No outside colonial regime was making the decisions for us. We were making those decisions, and that was the goal, and it's still the goal. Because the situation remains, a major critique that we articulated was against the two-party system that had been part of the governing apparatus and had neglected us, our communities for generations. They held control of the political system, and that's what's our goal. We're going to take it away from them. We will organize our people to take it away from them, and that's what we set out to do. Now, of course, there are arguments to be made about how successful we were, and part of the reason that those arguments surface is because as we set out to change the system, as to say it a bit more precisely, to overthrow the colonial regime, the vehicle we chose was a political party which had a lot of constraints already built in. It has often been said that the system is rigged, and that was the exact reality at the time. The system was rigged against newcomers, new rising leadership, and so when critics evaluate La Raza Unida, its accomplishment is usually done so within the conventional framework of political science. For example, when you're reading the literature about Raza Unida, it will always be referred as a third party. And we didn't see it as such. We saw it as an independent political party, independent, autonomous political party. So when they evaluate our success, they say, well, you have to look at the metrics they use to measure success for themselves of their work. Success, that means winning elections, electing people to office. How many people do you elect to office, to what offices, and how many elections do you win, and so on. And they say, well, La Raza Unida managed few electoral victories, and that is true. But does that mean that we failed that we had our project? I said no. Why? Because those metrics never applied to us. We were a social movement, not a political party. We were a social movement that involved mass mobilization of the community. At the Rio March, thousands of people marched there to attack that local political system in Del Rio in Valverde County. And that event was a transformational event for our community because it showed that people the possibilities that could be there if we worked. And that is why I insist and will forever insist that Raza Unida cannot be evaluated on the conventional criteria from political science. Because we were not a political party. We chose that vehicle because it was legally available. It was a legally available avenue, which meant that under the laws of the state of Texas, it was legal to organize a new political party. And that allowed us to do our work legally without incurring any liabilities. Although there were many attempts, to quash our movement in various ways. The sheriff of Claiborne County, in Kingsville, Texas, and there was a conference of law enforcement was held in San Antonio, and he made the outrageous statement that the Mayo chapter in Kingsville was stockpiling arms. So that we were stockpiling arms, and that they were getting, preparing for the revolution, for the armed revolution. And that was absurd, because in the first place, there was never in the books, in our plan, our playbook for action. We were young, but we were not fools. That's we knew our chances. If we say we're going to do it through armed revolution, well, that's foolish. We knew that it would be foolish, that we wouldn't stand a chance if we chose that route. So our best chances were by organizing our people, and that's what we did. So that, again, I want to stress to the younger generations that will view this interview and attend the conference, is that I cannot stress enough that let me be facetious enough to say that if I were to ask the new generation, look, I am MarioCompean, I did this and I did this other thing, and it would be extremely rewarding, personally rewarding, if you got up and said, yes, I'm going to pick up the torch just for you. How facetious of you to say that, because I know that that's not the way things work. When you talk about leadership, that's not the way things work. Followers follow leaders because leaders inspire them into action, and because they believe in what leaders are saying and doing. So I want to stress to the younger generations that I'm not asking you to do things for me because I did things. No, there is a community of people out there that, as we set up way back then, needs to be liberated. And again, you have a model to follow in La Raza Unida Party and the Mexican American Youth Organization via the legal route. So I'm not exhorting you to pick up a rifle and go start shooting. That's not at all what I'm saying. What I'm saying that if you have values that emphasize human rights, social justice, then you have a model that you can use to try to change things, and that is La Raza Unida Party and the Mexican American Youth Organization.